Hello guys. So we are back in the second part of our journey in the hackathon from Bolt.new. So let's continue with our MockMate application. Before anything, I was just trying to install a new package just right before the video. And I'm just sharing this with you because this is a error which is hard to fix on Bolt. So we can learn a little bit from it. So very rarely, it's not often, but it might happen to you that when you install a new package, you might encounter this issue. So sometimes for whatever reason, Bolt basically writes the grown structure of the JSON, of the package JSON file. And with that, you will start getting basically plenty of errors. If you will try to fix it here, it might not work many times. So instead of spending a lot of tokens, let's try to fix this together. So first of all, I want to do a rollback here. So you see here, I was trying to basically fix this with the Bolt helper. However, it's not going to work like that. So what we will do, we will roll back these changes. This was just me experimenting a little bit before the streaming, and we can just roll back to this, you see? So we can roll back to this version. Let's see if it's going to work just right away. If it works, then we're very lucky. However, it doesn't work, it's going to get a little bit educational, this video. So let's see what's going to do. Let's see how it's going to work. Let's give it some time. I'm curious to see the result of this. Seems like it's taking too long. Just doing a normal revert. You know, the thing is, like, of course, the easiest thing, if the revert works, but it doesn't fix the issue, the first thing that you could do is just to create a new chat and import the GitHub repo from it. Now, I'm not sure if what are the exact rules for these exceptions in the Bolt hackathon, but when you are submitting the project, they are going to ask you to share basically the URL that you see here of your Bolt, right? I don't know if you want to possibly check the whole history of what you did. If you create a new chat, you're going to lose that. So possibly, in the worst case that you need to create a new chat, you should save this one as the part 1 possibly, and then post also the part 2, which is going to be a different URL. As you see, this is failing. So this is just to show you guys that sometimes weird things happen, you know, and this is not cool because it's taking time from you and from your project. And yes, you see, just keep complaining about the NPN. Now I know how to fix the NPN. The funny thing is, if you go here, problem is this little comma here, right? Like Bolt doesn't like this. However, if you save this, it doesn't save it. It does literally nothing. So this is like a very weird situation where you want to do a change, but it doesn't let you do the change. So what can you do here, right? Like, this is a beautiful thing. I'm gonna show you. So let's reopen this. Let's see if it works. If not, then I will be forced to restart into a new Bolt chat. We can open this on StackBlitz. Hopefully from here, we can fix this issue that we have. Let's double check. You see, at least here is giving you more context. By the way, StackBlitz, it's part, or better said, basically Bolt.new is part of the StackBlitz suite. So this is basically the parent project that was before Bolt. Now you see, here it's telling you, it's telling me about the problem, the second problem. What is interesting is, this is already telling me that this package doesn't exist anymore. And this is because, of course, I did the revert, but the revert was not reflected on Bolt. However, it is reflected on the changes that are stored in this specific project, which is interesting. So I believe maybe we close this we'll double check the package is fixing here. You see here the change is saved, which is great. But now if we will open Bolt, let's see if this will do some magic. Hopefully it's gonna work. I don't know if it changed anything. Yeah, well guys, it's not working. Not fun. So yeah, this is something related to the environment of Bolt itself. That's why it's always good to commit your changes, right? Which in a normal case, you wouldn't mind much about it, right? This is just a case where we need to care about this ID, which is here in the top. So that's the reason why we are actually trying to fix this chat that we have opening here. But, well, somehow, yeah, it's not getting easy. So let's see what else we can do here. So we have this issue. Let's see if the data is refreshed. You see, this is showing different data than the one that we have. Now, if we go to the repo, we refresh here the repo. We check the package JSON. And the package JSON actually is not, the code is actually the same as in Bolt. Interesting. Okay, let me first try to again change it here. But it doesn't let me change. Let's see if try to create a new commit. Didn't create a new commit. So what we can do is we can just go here, edit the file. We could just remove this manually. We can click commit, update. Hopefully it's going to change. Now the problem is that now I can't repair the other files that I did, so it's going to get broken, right? But at least it might run. So let's refresh this. I'm not sure if it's going to pull the latest changes that we have. I think yes, because it's going to change from the import, and good. This is a good sign. So now that we have this, it means we can hopefully, I'm not sure if this is going to break anything else, but possibly we can go back in time. Before I asked for this change, I was just exploring this option of revenue cut with this project. Revenue cut is basically this, let's say, like all-in-one management system for payment systems, right? Like you have a Scribe and there are several other services behind it, and they just provide you, the management for it, especially when you have basically apps across different platforms like iOS and Android. You don't want to always, code something unique for those platforms when it comes to the payment. So this is very handy when you want to unify that logic. And they now release a new version, which is for the web part of it. However, it is still a little bit limited. It doesn't have all the full options to have the paywalls that are available, for example, in the mobile environment. So I was just validating that before, just doing this, and by getting curious, it got buggy. So we can, let's try to see. Oh yeah, so we're back. Cool. So for those who doesn't remember what we were doing here, basically, let me actually just now try to share this specific stream with the people on Bolt Discord. Hopefully we will get someone here watching us. Let me just get here the stream, and let's see basically, and let's see what's who can join here. So let's just share it in Discord. Oops, let's put here Discord, and we can put here, where is it? So there is this Discord channel for the Bolt community, where basically everyone in here is just, sharing info and so on. So let's see. Second. Mm. All right, so let's share this thing here, go live. We can share it here with the people, so we can do here, we're total live. Join me. Let's make that community a little bit better. Let's help each other. Cool, so we just managed to solve this issue basically with the Bolt, the NPM package. By the way, this issue basically was already quite popular. I see that many people were having these issues in here. Seems like it was partially solved. Some other people still getting it. However, you saw that, you just have, sometimes it's just easier to go directly to the repo when you are having this kind of error, and you can just fix it directly there, because as you saw on Bolt, it didn't allow me to save any change. So there was like some sort of mismatch of information, or something was not going as expected, right? Cool. So we have this application, as I was mentioning today in the morning. Basically, this MockMate is an application for helping people to prepare for interviews. So let's just say that you have an interview tomorrow. You have an interview about, I don't know, junior front-end developer position, right? And you want to practice, you're a little bit shy. Maybe you just want to get better. You just want to get some feedback. This app that we just made here is going to help you just to practice. This is a very nice example how to build something simple that can provide a lot of value to the people. You have two options. This option basically is the option that it's going to allow the people basically to get like a very basic version of, I will select a non-pay version of the interview. This is going to return you, it's going to be text-based. So if you go here and we put that we want to get prepared for a junior software developer position, this is going to actually provide you a small question, for example, that you can get on the interview. And then you kind of speak in here, and this will give you a summary. This is like the demo version of this. We have a little bit more complicated version of this that I will show you soon. So for example, again, if you click here, well, the question is, can you describe a time when you face a significant problem while coding a project and how you went about it? So let's say you will be a little bit with a shaky voice and you don't know really, how to answer to this. We can do it. Like, I don't really know what was happening on the project. The code was going crazy in some web application that we have, and I have to call my manager. Now, this is a really bad example, right, for the interview, but again, just example for you guys. So we submit this, and behind this, we have it connected with ChatGPT, well, with OpenAI. Basically, we're using GPT-4. This is going to give you, a very nice feedback, basically telling you like, the response lacks clarity, detail, and confidence. It's even actually understanding, that my voice was shaky. So this is providing a very interesting value, very nice overview and feedback for someone who really wants to get training here. So this is like the demo version. Then you have this one here. We're using already the Tavus API. This is a bit more complex. Here we need to fix some small UI glitches. Use the loading, I think it is. This is more cool. You see this spinner, we have to fix it. Oops, and this will not work because we are on this specific sandbox environment. So we go here, refresh to get the data. You see, this is also a very common problem that you have with when you're creating a new Bolt, or basically React app with Bolt, is that the routing is not working. Like if you are on dashboard and you refresh, this will not redirect you to this page. You have to fix it. We will fix it. I will show you how. For now, if we will go back to this, I see. So this basically is now in top of it. So let's again just redeploy because of the changes possibly that we did on on the GitHub on the repo directly. It auto deploy something and it broke something. Now let's refresh. We're back. Now we have the live interview. Again, we put here the junior software developer, and now here it should load the Tavus, which by the way is just an amazing solution for this. We can't use the camera, of course, because it's now being used for the streaming, but we can join without the camera, which is okay. Look. Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Alex, and I'll be conducting this mock interview for a junior software developer position. Can you start by telling me a little about yourself and what sparked your interest in this role?
Hello, Alex. Yes, to be honest, I'm not well experienced in software development.
That's completely okay. We all start somewhere. It's great that you're being honest about your experience. Can you tell me what motivated you to apply for this junior software developer?
So, and this will continue and so on, and she will basically gather all the different information, as much as possible information, to later give you a feedback, that's basically a very cool thing, so you mark this as completed, and you see this is a very simple thing that it's going to provide a lot of value. The implementation of this is not as hard. You just have to know what you're doing, but I think this is where Bolt is becoming very handy. You can build this in no time, right? Of course, you need to do some testing. Now, what we will do now in here is well, first of all, let's improve a little bit the UI. I don't know if you noticed, but most of the Bolt projects are usually sharing the same colors and so on. So we can improve that a little bit, right? So we can ask this, improve a little bit the UI to look a bit more like Mac OS. Do not change the styles dramatically. Keep in mind, guys, that if you do a huge change on CSS styles, depending how Bolt structure the project, it's going to make sometimes a little bit of mess. Sometimes there will be certain styles that might not be fully changed. This happens because sometimes if you don't tell Bolt how the structure of the CSS should be, like to basically keep everything into classes organized and as a template, it might have a later let's say like a little bit of hard-coded classes everywhere. So it's going to be a little bit harder to do that. So that's why we don't want to change it a lot. We just want to make it look sexier. Let's start with this one. Let's see how it goes. Let's start from easiest to hardest. Let's see where we go. So let's see. Now this is building. It's gonna make this hopefully a little bit more attractive. Let's give it some time. We will see how cool it's gonna get this, right? Okay. We can actually monitor this. Cool, it's doing something. Anyway, so you see, guys, this is very cool. This is another mistake that I saw. For some reason, it's put in 2024. Possibly it's getting old data. We need to change this. Of course, we want to return or give this to the judges in a very nice shape. Something else that we might do is just to improve this logo and this icon that we have in here. There are two ways. A very common way, an easy way, will be just to ask ChatGPT to create us a logo, and then we will place it there, and that's it, right? Another way, which is also quite interesting, is to ask Bolt, and I did this before and did it quite good, to create the logo as an SVG. So, and it will do it. Sometimes you have just to adjust a little bit of pixels, but this is a nice trick that I use in some other projects. And the cool thing is that you have the whole SVG, then you have to spend time in design. So when you're building something really quick, this is definitely a very nice approach. So let's give it a try soon. Let's wait for this. But yes, I don't know you guys, I really like this. It's looking very, very interesting, to be honest. Let's see what else we are doing. Okay. I see some other people is getting some issues in the hackathon. We didn't use the chat. Anyway, so let's see. It's still loading here. What else can we later do, guys? Because we have this. This is really looking good. By the way, this is okay. It's not as responsive as it should be. This looks way better when we go to this full resolution. Wait, something happened here. Why it doesn't? Ah, okay. We need to fix this for sure. It doesn't let me sign out here, and this was working. And this is something, guys, that you should always keep a look at, because sometimes you're doing changes. Sometimes you think, let's imagine we have all these version working. Now we ask for a CSS, and could be that something else get broken after that change. So you have to be very meticulous when it comes to double checking basically all the changes that Bolt is doing to ensure that you are not introducing any new bug with the newest things in here. That's basically one of the most important things. All right. So let's deploy this, because I think here it's not gonna look as nice. And let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is gonna work. All right. It's already did some deployment. It's gonna fail. Guys, to be honest, I don't see any change in here. Do I see some change? Maybe some slide. Okay, yeah, it put some nice animations. We have to fix this issue. This is very annoying. And this is another issue too that seems to be related with a problem with the deployment. This is something strange because this is something related with the possibly the deployment somehow is missing the Supabase URL. Interesting. Well, let's see. So let's go step by step. To fix this routing issue that I just showed you, well, let's just redeploy, because I'm not happy that it failed. The Supabase URL is super strange. Usually the integration of Supabase in Bolt and Netlify we are deploying is actually deploying as well the configuration of the Supabase. You don't have to do it manually. The only thing you have to do manually, of course, are the other environment variables which are there. So that's it. So let's see. Refresh. Oh, we're back. This is not working, but okay. So let's do this. Please ensure that routing in Netlify is working correctly. So when a user is accessing a different path than root, it will allow to load the content rather than returning not found. Let's see. I think this is something possibly that the people at Bolt could implement, improve a little bit better. Like by default, if you have kind of like a template for making a single page application, it's like a must-have thing, right? Otherwise, it's not gonna work. Let's deploy again. Let's see if it's gonna do the magic, and we will see. Okay, so we are back, redirecting here, and now you see, now we are redirecting inside of the dashboard page, and it's working fine. No issues whatsoever. Common issue that you will have with Bolt when you're building something on a single page application with React and Vite. So, all right, we have this now. Make sure let's log out works. By the way, as the project increases in size, you will see that the tokens that you have in here are going to be consumed way faster, right? So keep that in mind. Make sure the logout works, logout button works, and everywhere. And when it's, well, let's do this one. When it's a small task, then you can ask for a little bit more of instructions on, you can put like more than one task into the prompt as long as it's not too big. In this case, I don't know if it's gonna check some many other files, so it's gonna ask for this change. And let's see basically how this is gonna work. Okay. I believe this will deploy automatically this part, you know. We have to give it maybe like a minute because basically since Netlify is connected, it's auto-deploying with commit changes, and Bolt basically is doing a new commit every time that you are basically saving something into the file, or it is saving automatically, then this should automatically work. So if we refresh this and now we click here, well, it doesn't work. Interesting, we have some weird bugs, guys. Let's deploy this. Maybe there is something weird with the deployment system. And possibly user hand layout components. Let's see what is changed. That's the layout. Maybe the auto deploying doesn't work good. Let me inspect the console. I see. So we're getting basically an error which is saying out session missing. That possibly means that my session token expired and we are not validating that. We can ask why I'm getting this error when logging out. I mean, possibly if I will completely remove, all my session data and try to log in again, it's going to work, and then, log out. But we need to make sure this is working. These are like the small details that sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to fix it properly. Let's see. Okay. The error encounter is related to Supabase authentication management. It happens when the out session is missing or has expired. So possibly this is going to put some validation. Gratefully treats a warning, rare critical error, even if Supabase shows an error, clear localized error. Cool. Yeah, this is what we have to do. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna click deploy. Let's click deploy. There is something we're happening with the automatic deployment. Deploy this. And let's see. Wait. What is this? Is it weird errors? Very interesting. Now you can't see, guys, but I have here. Okay. When logging out, I'm trying not to code at all, not to check the code. Only if there is something very critical, I will check the code. Otherwise, I prefer to pay for the tokens to be accessed. And that's the whole point of start using vibe coding, right? So I'm logging out. I'm getting basically this error, and also goes back to home. but instantly redirect back to the output. Error. Let's see. Yeah, possibly when it goes, it logs out, right? Then it takes you back to the home page, but then home page detects that you still have the session, so it redirects you back to the dashboard page. And then there is this weird loop that we need to ensure it's completely working. Okay, let's see. What on earth is happening here? Oh no. Something is weird, guys, with the deployment process, because sometimes it deploys right the Supabase URL, sometimes it doesn't deploy it, and then it goes bananas. I think the Supabase, yes, URL should be loaded from the app. So it is looking for some store data. What the hell is this? Well, error. Let's delete this, and now clicking this. Now I'm gonna just send this error here. Getting an error. You fully clicking my session. You see, this is sometimes the annoying thing that you spend a lot of time fixing something that doesn't make sense, you know. So let's see. What is going to happen there? Okay. I want to say hello to myself. No, I just saw that someone is here with a similar name than me. Okay, so let's check this. Let's deploy this. Let's see. Okay, refresh. And it deployed, but something very strange, you see? Doesn't work at all. Come on, Bolt, what's happening? Let's deploy again. That's gonna work, yes. Oh man. Well, let's see. I think the problem is that this is never deleting. Please ensure you delete the access token from the stored in local storage or now. You know, when you don't find, basically, when you see that it really doesn't help you, go just the hard way and just do it like that. You know? I think this is cleaning something else. If I check this functionality, let's see what it was doing. Not this side, set login, okay. Clear lockage immediately. Yeah. Well, I don't know what's happening there. Let me check. Wait. Remove, also clear any potential out cookie. Local storage, okay. Cool. Let's try it out again. Doesn't work. Oh man. Okay, so let's see. Cool. Fresh. Wow, it worked. Some weird flashing there, but we'll leave it like that. I will try to log in again. Okay, cool. Log again. Works. Now, this we don't have it set up. I don't want to set it up. So we can ask Bolt, please remove GitHub sign-in option, update Twitter to year 2025. Interesting that Bolt is always, most of the time, coding React apps using the same styles, using the same purple, and so on. So it's kind of cool, but at the same time, you have to be careful. If you want to look a little bit more unique, you have to spend a bit more time with the design. Or you have a better option. You can start just importing your Figma style template basically into the Bolt when you're starting the project. The other option is just to tell us right away to Bolt when you're creating the project to use a different style for it, right? Cool. So this is huge. This text, yeah, too big. Right. So let's see. Let's give it a time. We just want to finish this one. By the way, once this is finished, then there is a whole process. Once you want to submit your application to the hackathon, you have to make a small video sharing how the application is working and write a little bit of information about it as well. And that's it pretty much. Yeah. Not a big deal, but keep in mind that you need to reserve a time for it too. All right. Cool, so let's see. Didn't know I have to change so much code. Something else interesting here as well is that you see, first, if you don't tell Bolt to start factorizing, it's gonna put all the code in big files, and at some point you want to change this because it is gonna eat a lot of tokens. Basically, you have to rewrite every time that you ask for a small change. So keep that in mind, guys, too. You see, so now let's check. Nice, MockMate is there. Now, if we go to sign in, cool, we got it. It did remove plenty of info, or is it because I am now in this view? Possibly it's because I'm in this view. I think when we are on the big view, we have this info at this side. Nice, so I think we can proceed with the changes that we have online. And let's see. Let's see. Mhm. Nice, it's working. Cool. So now we can tell it to, we go back to this page, home page in here. We can now convert. Let's see what color we could use in here. Maybe a black could be cool as well. Convert the text logo into a SVG text logo black color. Then instead of using a small endpoint icon, create a new icon that resembles to a, let's put a MockMate, you know, MockMate in SVG. So all logo will be text and endpoint. Okay, let's put it better, endpoint and text for each other. Yeah, let's see if we can make it. We're really delegating a lot of things to Bolt, right? So we can expect that it's going to create everything perfect. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Rotating. This is going to look cool. This is going to look horrible. We will find out. Okay. Then we need to make sure it's not replace the logo everywhere. I know that many times it happens to me as well that it's just replacing it on the top bar, but it's not on the footer replaced. So we have to improve as well a little bit that part. Let's see. Let's give it some time. Well, it doesn't look as bad. However, oh, I did replace it in here. Now the issue is, here is fine. I mean, it's not fully aligned. Let's check why. And these have here. Wait, what's this? I want to check this, guys. Okay, so this is the. Okay. So I think the problem here is that this guy doesn't know, for example, that he needs to have some sort of coding. Let's see. Well, let's talk to Bolt. Beautiful. Please sure the endpoint SVG and the text SVG are both vertically synced. It looks kind of cool. I like the logo, MockMate AI interview coach. And here is just a bit coded, but let's see if this can do some magic. You just have to play with the logo, which is better now that this is split in here because it's not a lot of code. Well, a little bit of code though. Let's see. Well, looks more decent, I have to say. You see now we have a nice logo here. We have a nice logo here, except this coded part, which I think is because of spacing issues. And this should not happen. Let's do like a improve a little bit the homepage responsiveness without damaging current layout for the experience. We don't want to basically improve the responsiveness now, but then damaging what we know it's looking good on a big screen. So that is something. By the way, I think I know what the issue is with these guys. If we don't deploy manually by clicking this button, each automatic deployment that is going to happen by changing something in the code, which is happening every time that basically this is writing something here, is not deploying the Supabase variables. So that's why we need to click the button, small things. Or the other thing, I can just manually, write those variables into Netlify, but we have time, I hope. So let's see. Okay, but it's looking nice, guys. I really like the design of this. I think just this purple is a little bit like too much bold, too much like universal. And I think this is going to be small detail that it's going to make a huge difference. Imagine that you are basically, you're the judge, and you're judging this, during the decision making day, and all the people is looking at the same apps or different apps with the same design. They're going to get bored. The ones they see something completely different looking like, it's going to be like, wow, so that's cool. Okay, surprisingly it put now some sort of kind of bubbles on the video. Okay, didn't ask for it, but cool. Improve this design. This is too big, but okay. That looks okay to me. We can deploy this. And let's see. Okay. So now we will refresh this part and we will just double check if it's okay looking. Yeah, this is looking sexy. Cool. Live. Nice. Very nice. Start your first session. Ooh. Oh, this is a small issue here. We can fix. And I think we're pretty much done except with this, what else can we do? I think we're good to go, guys, with this app. To be honest, I wanted to implement revenue cut, but I saw there are still some issues with that, so I would rather keep this for now as it is. I will fix some small issues later, but as you see, it's looking, in my opinion, very sexy. We can just take a look if everything's working fine, but I think it should because it didn't touch its files. Again, super easy app. Hello, I'm the top best developer in the world. Let's see what it does. Submit. Of course, you can put later to this dark mode as well. Ideally, want to mention bold about that kind of decisions from the beginning. Cool. Complete. Yes, this is like this. Log out. We can try to create a new user as well. Let's put here. Let's keep the order. Yeah. Oh. See, this is weird that it doesn't allow me to copy somehow. Okay, so it's working. It does create this. Let's just try it again. If this is working, you have to always verify if it's working with all the different users that you have. And it is working pretty much fine, so cool. Now, cool guys. So this is it, a small reminder later. It will be nice later to, for example, assign to this nice domain name. I will do this possibly out of the streaming due to, I can do another streaming too, it's not a biggie. I think you can even post it as it is, shouldn't be a big issue. So I think we're basically done with this, guys. It's in here working as expected, kind of cool. Let me just try something here. I just want to validate one more thing. Start recording. Hello, I am the best developer in the world. Okay, zoom in the response, and I think now I just want to see if this created the proper response or not. Let's give it a time. Yeah, okay. By the way, you can actually play your own audio as well, It's kind of cool. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here we can see it, already know. Well, it will be cool to know. Are we actually storing this, the response? So if we go to Supabase and we go to the table editor, we can see the sessions. Now, this database is pretty simple, meaning that we still have the information here. Now, this is a super simple database structure. We can, of course, in a more complicated app, make this way nicer. Okay, but at the moment, oops, this is the picture ChatGPT was preparing for my YouTube channel. So we can just ask doing this, if a user clicks in a second, let me do this like this. In a quick practice setup, and that is already finished. It should allow him to still redirect him to that page to see the feedback. Question. Okay, now if I go here, interesting. So we have one more bug. Let's see. Sorry, a little bit late in here in Bratislava. Okay, so here we go. Let's log in here. Ah, nice. So now it's work properly. Or is it? Okay. Quick practice. You know, if the quick practice was already done, the complete session workout will not be there. Also, if the quick practice was not completed, then it should be there. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. Let's give it some time. Okay, so now we go here. Now there should not be any button, just the feedback that we have. Now we go back in here, and now we have here nothing else. We have this one in progress, which is all right. Now we go to start quick practice. We put here this information. Let's see if it's actually going to allow us to. Okay, cool. No. And you see, this is an interesting thing that I don't see here. Wait, I refresh the whole thing. I don't see there the uncompleted quick interview. Yes, it's not here. So we can tell like, please, when user get a question from the quick practice, we should already store that session as in progress. Let's see if it works. And I think once we have this, it's going to be completed and ready to go. And we'll see. It's looking nice though. Cool. Now go here, we press this. Now we go back. Cool. Now it's in here. Now start recording. Hello, hello, hello. Now submit response. We have to validate basically the whole flow. Just to ensure that it's working fine. And we will see. Cool. it's working. Let's check which in the status. Completed. Let's go here. It's not gonna work, but it seems to be okay. Let's release, and then we can test the whole application in MockMate. MockMate. Okay. Let's refresh. Now we have the logo. We place here this login thing. I don't like it. Let's end the interview. And I will just remove this loading thing. And that's it. Okay. Cool, guys. I think this is going to be everything for today. We will have this application basically ready. So I'm just going to, prepare the information to post it into DevPost. And yeah, this is application number 1 and then day number 1 too. So let's get started, guys. Thank you very much for the attention here, and see you later, guys. Bye bye.